What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in for yet another episode of the Savage Corner. I'm excited today, but you know what time it is. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe, turn the notifications on so you can stay up to date to everything new on the Savage Corner. Of course, I am your host, the Bearded Savage, along with my co-host, Summer Dean.
Hey, hey.
We're excited about our episode today, so let's just hop right into it. Summer, take it away.
Well, today's questions are okay. Whenever I started to get to know myself, excuse me, when I started to get to know myself, I had no idea even where to start or what questions to ask myself or anything. I was so lost in mom mode and doing everything for everybody else that was lost. So I found these questions and I took time to write them, but I kind of want us to answer these and it'll also help people get to know us.
Absolutely. I'm for it. Let's do it.
Okay. First question. What does your ideal day look like?
Shoo, a day in the life of the bearded savage. I mean, typically it's kind of the same way. Right now, I'm not working at an outside job. I'm just doing the social media stuff for a bit now, but it's still kind of the same way. I mean, I wake up every morning, and of course, I have coffee with you. We do it through FaceTime. Typically, we're already on the phone with each other when I wake up, anyways. Um, right now, I'm taking my son to school in the mornings, which is absolutely amazing. It's something I miss being able to do when I work, full time. So I come home from there. I dive right into social media. I'm also currently looking for some employment, so I'm doing that as well too. But I have a block of time basically there where I start to unravel what I'm going to do as far as social media is concerned for the day. Working on my website, that's something that I've been working on here recently. Of course, we were working on the book, but we've got that published. Savage Shadows, not a not a dirty plug. But no, it just usually I have goals that are set up, and I make sure that I accomplish them. But yeah, it's a packed day. I can tell you that much. And then going to get him, coming home, doing dinner, spending time with you, and then still doing the posting as far as that's concerned. So, yeah, it's a busy day for me. How about you? What's a day in the life like for Summer Dean?
I mean, you sound like so busy and such like a little busy bee, and that's how your brain works, and I love it so much. So for me, oh my goodness, I get up in the morning and I journal and I meditate and I do all of my stuff. I usually wake up around 5 and take the dogs out. Corbin wakes up thereafter, and I'm usually still in bed having coffee and he goes off to welding school, and then am usually talking to you on the phone by then, and you're taking Jonathan to school, and I'm having conversations with him. So, I think my day is full of, again, like yours, creating content, doing mom things, cooking, cleaning, all of I'm not a very good cleaner. Everything underneath the mess is clean. It's called
Yeah,
we call it a summer tornado.
yeah,
So I try to pick up some of my summer tornadoes and get along with my day and then spend time with all of the men that I love.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's my
I still think it's amazing as far as us is concerned. Like you are chaotic, everything all over the place, and I am like detailed, one in the line, and yet we can still function together in a good way, and it's not overly aggressive on one side or the other. Like you have to have it your way, or I have to have it my way. So I mean, we work well together. That's something I've always been impressed with this relationship. So
I'm glad you're impressed with that, and so am I. Okay. Um, next question. What did you want to be when you were younger?
who? So I wanted to
Go way
be
back.
in a
Go way back.
go way back, go
Way
way
back.
back, go way back. I wanted to be an investigator. I've always just thought investigations were cool. Of course, like 90% of guys wanted to be a cop when they were younger. But it wasn't just a cop for me. Like I wanted to do, you know, investigations, is what I wanted to do. And it's cool because like I didn't do the exact title as I grew older. But I have the mindset still because everything that I do I investigate it first. I have to know it to its fullest extent before I'm able to grab a hold of it and accomplish it. Because I do like to make sure that I accomplish things. So I want to make sure I know everything about something before I dive into it. So
So your overthinking is actually investigating
yeah,
to find out all the different outcomes. Like, is that what we're doing whenever you're doing this?
yeah,
So
yeah. A lot of it is. Yeah, a lot of it is, and the other thing too is just that I have that sixth sense, is what I call it, that spidey sense. Like, I can usually feel a vibe or something's off or something's, an impact is about to happen.
yeah,
And then I can react to it. So it's not that I can predict the future. It's somewhat that, but I can usually tell when something is not right, or something is off, and that's part of my investigative brain. And that's the reason why I wanted to be one, because I noticed that at a young age
yeah.
that I had this ability just to tell when somebody is off or something is off, and that's, one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, but it kind of
You
applies to what I'm doing now too.
you as an empath, like, that is completely like, you recognize I mean, I have my own abilities, but you recognize sometimes your intuition tells you faster than mine does.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
I do, yes. I agree with that. Good job, babe. Good job. What did I want to be
Oh,
when I was younger?
yeah. 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 What's your deal?
My deal was I wanted to be an artist
That's cool.
and just be wild and free and show love. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So I'm kind of already doing what I wanted to do. So,
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's amazing, because most of us don't do the exact thing we said when we were a child, because we didn't understand that as far as goal, accomplishing is concerned, or goal setting.
yeah.
So I think it's great when I hear somebody say that what I'm doing now is exactly what I wanted to do when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I love hearing that.
I
It's
mean,
amazing. I have a friend of mine.
I even wanted to be a mom. Like I
Right.
wanted to be a mom and I wanted to be an artist and I wanted to be successful at it. So I was just like, I'm already a mom. I'm a damn good mom too. And 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 I just my great grandmother painted and she taught me. And so since I was like 3 or 4 years old, I was like, yep, I'm gonna be an artist. So
Yeah.
and I did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and like I said, that's amazing, because like I even had a friend of mine growing up, and he said when we were younger, he was like, "When I grow up, I'm gonna blow stuff up in the movies. Like I'm gonna be demolition in the movies."
That is awesome.
And it was one of those things where, like, we was like, whatever. But he did. He went through like creating little bombs, cherry bombs. He liked to go put things in the ground and make the ground blow up. And then next thing I know, man, after high school, he went straight into the military. He did EOD. He came out of the EOD training, went straight to Hollywood, and he's blowing stuff up. He did exactly what he said he was going to do,
That's
as a
epic.
child. So when I hear somebody said that I wanted to do this as a kid and I did it as an adult, like I think that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
That's amazing. I do. That's awesome though. Like just to hear that.
Yeah,
I do get your point. Okay, you ready for the next one?
absolutely.
Who are you most inspired by and why?
Oof. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So if I have to pick a human, um, no, it's. I would say for me, like if I'm gonna pick like a celebrity, then I would have to say Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
Like he blows my mind in the way he thinks and the way he applies himself, and the accolades that he would go through just to make a conscious decision.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen his book or read his book or heard his book, Green Lights, he talks about it a lot in his book. But this man would go through the depths of the earth to make sure that he was making a conscious decision. And I love that.
Hmm.
I love that. To be able to step outside yourself, throw everything against the wind, and say, "Hey, I need clarity, and I'm going to go to this place. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to come back and make my decision." So it's just that kind of perspective blows my mind. So
And I think I agree. Like that's a perfect like example all the way. And I think that if people were to find that strength to step out of their little circle and just kind of touch that toe that they will find life more easier as they take chances and listen to their intuition.
yeah,
Um,
Yeah, absolutely. What about you?
well, I'm going to go that I used to say celebrities and um, all that stuff, but I'm gonna say that I'm inspired by my grandparents and the love and strength and honorable, like all of the things that we look for in role models. And I just they inspired me to be what I wanted to be. They inspired me to show love. Like grandparents just have this amazing like just to make you feel whole and perfect. And I think that it was a beautiful thing and they taught us so much. Um and they are definitely inspired. Like inspired.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's amazing when with me being in management for so long now, like I can almost tell. I'm sitting there interviewing a kid or a young man or young woman, and I'm just talking to them. And the first thing that pops in my head was, your grandparents had a big part of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it turns out either they raised them or they were just a part of raising them or they lived in the home with them as they were
Mhm.
growing up.
Mhm.
But you can just tell it's a different vibe when somebody has had a huge impact from their grandparents because not everybody's blessed to have them around.
Yeah.
Sometimes they pass away before you even had a chance to really know them, but
I'm lucky I have
you can
one who
tell.
left, and it's
Yeah,
my grandfather, and he is just
yeah,
absolutely adorable. Oh my goodness, I love
yeah,
him so much.
yeah. All mine have passed
Yeah,
over years and years and years, but yeah, no, it's a blessing to be able to have those people in your life, and yours are great.
yeah,
The one that I met both of them
you
before
did,
your grandma passed
you
away.
did.
So,
We lost her
but yeah,
last
no,
year to dementia.
yeah, yeah, but that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you ready for this? Who would you love to meet, and what would you ask?
For the sake of changing it up, because I'd want to say Matthew McConaughey again, but I'm gonna go with Jim Carrey. I just
Oh,
and
good
and
one.
I would ask him where does the comedy come from? If you guys have never really looked into Jim Carrey, like 90% of what he does is off the cuff, and it would blow your mind. As a person or the director would give him a scenario, not a script, a
Yeah,
scenario,
yeah.
and it was up to him to finish it. And it was just it blows my mind. The comedic value that is, I mean, he just acts so crazy and dumb, but he's
So
actually
creative.
super. So yeah, very creative.
So creative. I love
Yeah,
that. Oh my goodness. That was a good one, babe. He's an artist too.
yeah,
Like he
yeah.
paints. And I like sometimes I look at them and I'm just like, so like there's so much going on in that brain that I'm just like, can you just let me look? Just let me look in there. Let me put that on. But that's a good one.
Yeah.
And this one, for me would be who I would love to meet. You might have to worry about this one, okay? When I say it out loud, you're gonna know Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Morgan Freeman, and I would ask him to dance with me. That's like on my bucket list, just to dance with Morgan Freeman.
yeah.
And then ask him a million questions while I'm dancing with him. So,
Right. You only get one question.
I would just say, can you give me all of your knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay, next. What habit would you most like to break? And what habit would you most like to start?
Uh, the habit I'd most like to break would be, well, I know because I'm vaping. Yeah, I used to smoke for years, and I vape now, and I'd like to get rid of it altogether, but I enjoy it too much.
Yeah.
um, I induce nicotine for others, not for myself, is what I usually say. But yeah, that'd be the biggest thing. And then as far as a habit to pick up, I'd like to go to the gym more.
Okay.
I'm a heavier set guy. I've always been a big dude. I don't mind being a big dude. But yeah, I'd love to incorporate some more physical activity, especially now that I'm having knee problems and stuff like that. I'm probably gonna have to to do a little bit more physical knee stuff to make sure that it doesn't go bad on me. So-
I mean, after 20 years of working blue collar, baby, you would think that.
yeah. In not only 20 years of blue collar, but pretty much 20 years of being on my hands and knees
Yeah.
in crawl space and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's taken a toll on my body. So
I mean, you better get limber. I'm ready to go.
right,
You
yeah.
better. Okay. Let's see. What habit would I like to break? Mm, the the act of speaking before I think about what I said.
That takes years.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and and to take people like not literally. Like as a woman, I don't even know as a woman, but as a person, I'm just like when they do say something, I think it's got meaning behind it. And I always try to find that meaning, but it's not supposed to, I'm just learning that it's not supposed to, I'm not supposed to find that because that's an opinion that they have about me. And that's false information. So,
Right,
you know,
right, yeah.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah, yeah, and that's and on that, like, that's super, super tough, like, I I I swear I got my patience from my grandfather on my
Mhm.
mom's side.
Oh yeah.
He was the most patient man in the world, and people always compliment me on my patience. But, I mean, I can tell you right now, there's sometimes that I just wanna snap, fly off the handle. But I watched my grandfather for so many years just, you don't take it. Don't get me wrong, you don't just endure somebody coming at you like that.
Yeah.
But you just learn to say, "Okay." In my brain, it works very quickly is I look at somebody and I say, "Okay, what is the reason why they're coming at me like this?
Mhm.
Do I even know it? If I
Yeah.
don't know it, then don't judge them because you don't know what they're going through."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if I can figure out where they're coming from and then say, okay, wow, I would react that way too if I felt that way. Not that they're valid, but if I felt that way, I'd react this way.
Yeah.
And then from there, I can start to you know, react in a right way. But it does. It takes a whole lot of time breathing. Okay.
And now y'all know why this man it was put just on earth for me. That's why, because my mouth used to get me in a lot of trouble. Just let's just say that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think a habit that I would most like to start is definitely getting back on like walking barefooted on the earth. Like that's my favorite thing to do, you know that. And just get
Yeah.
back in the habit of going and taking the dogs on a little stroll and just getting back in touch with nature.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do that
Awesome.
together. You know,
We can.
we could
And
walk
we're
and I could be in nature and then
yeah. And
everybody,
when we're physically side by side, or heck, I can just go walking on FaceTime with you.
I can give you a piggyback ride. We'll be good.
Yeah. Oof, that might. I know I can't do it the other way around. Not in defense.
No, 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 I
I
don't take any.
my knees say nope.
I know. That's why I said I would give you a piggyback ride. Okay. Going on to the next one. I love where our conversations go. Um, let's see. Think of a person you truly admire. What qualities do you like about that person?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, we just kind of spoke about it, but I go straight to that one. My grandfather on my mom's side,
Hmm.
and it was the ability to just be so patient. It just seemed like nothing ever rattled the man
Yeah.
at all. I had only seen him actually, like, we use the word snap one time, and that one time that I saw him snap, it was just me and him in a room. There was nobody else there.
Yeah.
But he had this ability just to absorb things and then place them in the right places without, you know, acting erratic or yelling or screaming, or it didn't matter what was in front of him. He had so much patience to be able to do the right things. And like I said, again, he wasn't taking crap off of people.
Yeah.
He just had that extra step to be able to take in information and apply it appropriately and to have a thought process before he actually spoke. And
That's
it
a
was
good
worth his
quality.
weight in gold. Yeah,
That's
it
a
was
good
worth his
quality.
weight in gold
Yeah.
as I learned from him.
Yeah. I'm going to say, think of a person I truly admire would be you.
Oh,
Your qualities are, you're honorable. You don't lie to me. You help me and just kind of guide me and just kind of show me like other ways of thinking and not just from my like perception. And
right,
I think that the way you do it is very patient and loving and kind. And even though it might hurt me, you still want me to know the truth. So I think I
right.
admire that.
Yeah.
Just so you
Thank you.
know. You're welcome.
Oh, I made me cry on camera.
I
I
am.
ain't doing
I'm gonna make you cry one day, buddy. You just don't worry about that.
it.
Okay, here's the next big question. Should I give my opinion
Junior,
before? No.
read the question.
It says, how do you relax?
Oh, jeez. Uh, um, mm, well, I don't do it often. I don't do it often enough. I can tell you that much. You've spoken about it. We've spoken about it in the past. I have an overactive brain. It's always going. It never shuts off. Matter of fact, when it does shut off, I can't pay attention. So it's just constantly going, and sometimes it's a burden, and a lot of times I think more so less it's a blessing. But so when I relax, I'm around you. It seems like it's just I can just let it go. I can get engaged in a conversation. Nothing else is bothering me. Thing of that nature. But the river is another thing. When I get there, I mean, just the sound drowns my own thoughts out
Yeah.
from the river. So that would say, if I have to name a place, it would be the river. If I have to name a person, it would be you.
Thanks. I love those two places too, just so you know. And how do I like to relax? Anything that has a bathtub and a glass of wine, and I can just sit there without anybody talking, or I don't have
Mhm.
to think. And that's whenever I really just kind of turn everything off. Like the dogs aren't in there. I'm alone. I'm by myself for like probably the first time. And I don't know. I take a bath like once a month and just kind of push the world out and just be in my own little area.
Yeah,
So, okay,
on it.
I got it. When was the last time you did something you were afraid of?
Oof.
Ooh, I know, right?
Get in a relationship. I mean,
Really? Oh, okay, good. Okay.
no, I mean, I'm big on facing fears. Like I have a rational thought process that most people don't have, and sometimes you can't overcome. But you can definitely handle them, or you
Yeah.
can deal with them, or go ahead, head first into them. If you guys don't know, like I have a huge fear of heights. And actually, if you diagnose it, I have a fear of falling, not a fear of heights, which is different from what I've been told.
Yes.
But so I cannot. I can be on a roller coaster. I can, be in a car if I'm not looking. But I have a hard time getting to the edge of something. Sometimes a porch, if it's on the right elevation, I feel loopy standing on a porch. So yeah, it's a real thing, and I do it on a daily basis. But I went to what's called Lover's Leap. It's in North Carolina, I believe, is where it is. It's on the border of Virginia and North Carolina. So I don't know if it's in Virginia or Carolina. But
Okay.
anyways, it's where John Rolfe and Pocahontas supposedly leapt to their death
Mhm.
together. So but it's this huge steep cliff, and it's got a railing in front of it, like a guardrail for, cars so they don't go off of it.
That's awesome.
Um, and I went
Safety
to the edge of
first.
this guard right. I went to the edge of this guardrail, and I mean hands up, Titanic. And looked over the edge of it, and I stood there for a good 2, 3 minutes, and I was very proud of doing that. So that was death defying for me. So that was the last time I did something that was crippling fear. And
Mhm.
if y'all don't know what crippling fear is, if you ain't been crippled, I mean, literally, I had to drag myself. I had to pick my leg up and move it to get to the edge because it was crippling. I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
So,
Well, um, The last time I did something, I do something I'm afraid of every day. Like, I feel like that if I don't do stuff and dive in and figure it out, then I'm not gonna get the lesson that I need to learn about whatever I'm
Right.
doing.
Right.
But I'm I'm not really afraid to do anything because I'm an adventure seeker. I like to jump off cliffs. I like to The only thing that I'm really afraid of doing is I don't like to snorkel or surf in the ocean anymore just because of turtle
Yeah.
tried to. But I'm not afraid to do it. Like, I'll do it. I might be scared, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I do
Got it.
every day. Do something you're scared of. I think that keeps you young. I'm not sure. That's what our
Yeah.
goal is. Okay. Um, what are you most proud of?
Mm. Huh. I would say that I'm most proud of being a father. It means the world to me. I love my son. I love my stepkids from my past marriage. And I'm just super, super proud that my kids have come through the way they did. Some of it's my parenting, some of it's not from them recognizing my problems, which is still part of my parenting. But to have an older son that is, working a job and actually living at home, taking care of his mom to help her out, and then to have a daughter that's a double major, dean's list, and then have a son that's actually at a program where he can do programming and systems engineering. It's great to see them flourish and to do things on their own. And I just that's what I'm most proud of. I'm proud of being a father, and I'm proud of my kids.
So your kids are pretty great, by the way. I'm not,
Thank you.
and I'm very proud of them as well. I am going to say I am most proud of my boys. They grew up in the military, so we ripped them out of their, schools and homes every 3 or 4 years, and we moved them, and they have just gained so much experience from those um things that you just can't give every child. Most children don't even leave their hometowns for like the first 10 years of their lives. And my boys just have so much more experience and much more mature than normal children because they were always with me. But I think that I'm proud. I'm proud of myself and of them for just being great and me raising them and growing up with me along the way and understanding that, my mom was only 20. Like, she was younger than I was. I couldn't even imagine, like, and they say that to me now. And so I'm proud of them.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, no, and I think it's super amazing. Like the thing that most people don't talk about that they're most afraid of is change.
Yeah.
And the ability to be able to go to somewhere different and adapt to your surroundings and to make new friends, like that is the most healthiest thing that you can do. But most people are afraid to take it. So military families, when they move from place to place to place to place, they get to overcome one of the biggest fears in the world, and that's because they're constantly having to change.
Yeah.
So just it's for kids to be able to actually do it. It's awesome to hear that they're making it through.
I'm pretty proud of where they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So, okay, here's a tougher one. If life stopped today, what would you regret not doing?
So for me, that question is in the now. So
Okay.
I haven't talked to my father and told him I loved him today.
Yeah.
It's those are the biggest things. If life just all of a sudden stopped, I would regret the time that I didn't spend with the people around me. Now that I don't spend an adequate enough time, I always feel like I want more of their time,
Yeah.
and that stems from me losing my mother at an early age.
Mhm.
Uh, so when I think about my father, I'm like, man, like I don't have enough time. It feels like that sometimes because it's just like, you want more of them and life does come to an end. So
But I also
that's my want to
Well,
spend more time.
yeah. more time. But like we also have to be understanding to some and on that reciprocation too. Like, you know, like that person also has to want to spend time with you. And then it's the whole thing, well, I have this to do, and then get together. But make sure, like Wes says, just go with that. Like, let's make this happen. Like, go be with your parents and say hello. That's
Yeah,
about
make time for it. It's
yes, make
important.
time for it. Um, I would say, okay, mine, mine went instantly that I didn't get to meet all my grandbabies.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm super excited. Like, not yet, but whenever they do come, I'll be super excited. But like in the moment, mm, that I didn't help more people and do this earlier. Like we should have started this a
yeah,
year ago. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. Yep.
Yeah. So we sat on it for so long and just kind of was like, well, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. You know, and I know that we were taking time to get to know one another and like be love and all of the girlfriend, boyfriend stuff. But I think we could have done it and done it earlier.
Yeah,
Excuse my
yeah.
cat. You can hear cat in the background. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm thinking cat might eat the buck there here
Uh,
in a second.
in just a minute, it might happen. So if we hear like a rah, then just understand everything's okay. So,
Yep, life must go on.
yes. Okay.
Mm.
Now, okay. Oh, this is a good one. Who would you like to connect with or reconnect with, and why?
Mm.
Yeah, right. The hard one.
I would go with connect.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go celebrity just because like that's been my theme so far.
Okay.
Um, I would say Robin Williams. I think that man had way more to offer to the world
Yeah.
than what was really known.
Yeah.
I think his mental challenges were way higher than what people knew,
Yeah.
but yet he was able to stop and put a smile on everybody's face. And I just think that's a valuable lesson that we just never got the opportunity to learn,
Yeah.
because we didn't know. He didn't show that side of himself until it was later on,
Yeah.
So,
And people
um,
also there wasn't as many mental health and stuff like that back
yeah,
then. So
yeah,
yeah, I agree. Robin Williams
yeah,
is a great one, baby.
yeah.
You always have the goodest ones. I'm so proud.
The goodest.
The goodest.
Mhm.
Okay. Who would I like to connect or reconnect with? Why? Oh my goodness. I would like, can I make it funny? Because I don't really like, I just
Go
think
for
that
it.
whatever's meant for me will be like, so whoever reconnects or connects, like, I'm like, bring it on. Let's see. I'm always excited. But I think that I'd want to contact that little devil that's on my shoulder and be like, what were you thinking?
Right.
That's about it. I mean, no, I think connecting and reconnecting with people is super important, especially if there is, some unfinished business or something. Like I've always been brave. YouTube voice. I've always been brave and kind of reached out and said, I'm so sorry if I hurt your feelings. That's not what it was meant. And people just don't know how to do that. So whenever I do connect and I do reach out, and I don't just reach out one time, like I'll give it a couple of times. And if they don't want to, then I just kind of let it be and say, I'll meet you again when we're happier then. Like
Right.
people come and go, and that was a big thing for me to let go and be good. And now I'm just like, well, if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
Right.
So, okay, you ready?
Yep.
What practical skill do you wish you had?
Practical skill. Hmm. I'm just gonna go. I don't know why that popped in my head. I wish I knew how to surf. Wish I could surf.
Okay.
I don't think my knee would let me. For y'all that don't know, I have brackets and rods in my leg from a previous car accident that was really rough. I fractured everything from the tibia down to the ankle. So I have a bunch of rods and stuff in my legs. So I'm not supposed to do certain things. um, but man, I'd love to know how to surf. That'd
Okay.
be awesome.
Well, I think that there's lots of ways for you to surf. So if anything, we can figure that out and let you do that. Like anytime. You know I'm down. Let's do this.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a practical skill,
Oh
but
no, that's a
it's skill.
practical skill. I was thinking along the line, like you went like way. I was like, you were reaching. And I was like, whoa, go,
Look,
baby, go. I like
it popped in my head, I gave it.
you get it, baby. I was thinking I wish I had better handwriting. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I can draw and
Mine's
paint
terrible, but I don't
anything,
care.
but my handwriting is like bubbles, huge cursive. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's crazy. Okay. Ooh, babe, you're gonna love this one. Are you ready for this? Imagine
Go
you're
for it.
in the 90s. What memories would you like to have? What stories do you want to tell?
That's different for us because we were in the '90s and we have memories of
Right?
the '90s.
So,
Um, I'd love so growing up, and I'm still kind of the same way. I love music, and I think the '90s was an era of music that will never be touched again.
yeah,
It was just unreal. Hip hop was coming through. That's my biggest thing. I love hip hop, and it's amazing that the style of hip hop has changed so much that I still look for artists that are similar sounding to the way in that time period.
yeah,
Uh, there's artists that are out there, like NF is one of them.
yeah,
But sometimes you have to dig for those people because they're not in the mainstream, but but it's not quite underground. We used to have underground, where
yeah,
people were really on street corners, hence the Savage Corner, freestyling, and that's what I grew up doing. I grew up in a rough area, and it was very, very urban. We had a lot of hip hop was a big influence on all of us, and I could just remember, and that's the reason why we came up with the name of the show. I can remember standing on the street corner was where I got all my information, where I talked to the old heads that used to teach us, ways of life and people and, music and freestyling, and everything happened at the corner, and that's, hence the name of the show. So, I
mhm,
mean, but that's the biggest thing. I think music would be the one thing that I'd want to never die, especially that particular era of music. So,
okay. Do you have a particular story you want to share?
as
Like
far as
a
what?
memory on that street corner, like a positive memory that you can remember that makes you think that way?
Yeah, I mean, I touched on it. It was it was the old heads. Old heads would come through and they would talk to us, and they would try to school us in life and
I don't know.
how to go in the same direction.
What's an old head? I don't know what that is.
And so- an older person that was from the streets,
Now I know.
an older individual with seasoned wisdom.
There we go. I like it. Okay, go ahead.
That's what we call them old heads or old school heads.
Okay.
But again, it was the older people, man. It was people that had been through life, and they were on the corner rapping or talking and trying to educate us on their life experiences. Hence, what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I literally followed in their footsteps. I just won't do some of the crack and cocaine they did. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's for another
Okay, yeah, that's
podcast.
another one. Um, and I am going to say in the 90s, this is the only thing I have to say, is I'm so glad we did not have video cameras and our children will never be as bad as we were.
Facts, facts. Because
Facts.
if they were, they wouldn't put it on video. I tell you that much.
No. But like the thing that I remember the most is I came from the country and I ran around with boys all the time. We'd go to the creek and they'd go mudding and I'd take my car and go mudding with them and they thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And so usually we were back there playing music, doing things we weren't supposed to. And I do remember I remember those memories from the 90s that like my children don't ever get to experience. So kind of makes me sad too. But I mean, I've tried to let them live vicariously through me, but they want to do it themselves. So, but I
Yeah.
just tell them they can't do what we did in the 90s. You'll get arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What is your favorite book, movie, and song?
Mm.
And why?
Um, All right. So book, I have to go with Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey. Why? It's very eye opening.
Yeah.
I'm not rattle on. We talked about it earlier, but go get the darn book or get the audio version specifically because when he reads it to you, it's a totally different experience. Movie, anything Back to the Future. I loved Michael J. Fox growing up.
Mhm.
Teen Wolf, Back to the Future, like all these movies to me were great. But I love all three Back to the Futures probably equally. If it's on TV, I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
it. A million times, I'm gonna watch it. And then what was the other one? Song?
Yeah.
Song, I'm gonna go newer right now. "Change" by NF. Just it is so good.
It really
And
is.
anybody. I mean, we talk about healing, we talk about journey, figuring out who you are in life, things of that nature. If you have never listened to this guy's music, go do it. Because it will blow your mind.
Mhm.
The way I mean, he's just a wordsmith when it comes to mental health, and he's been through a ton. I mean, I think he lost his mother to drug usage. His father was never around, and his stepfather, I think, was abusive. Don't hold me to that, but I think he had some problems with him. But like all of his songs are about growing up and just struggle and trauma.
Yeah.
So it's really helpful because again, you become part of a community and you feel like you're not alone because listen to all his listeners. They've all been through trauma, things of that nature. So I mean, just good music, just good music. Change by NF. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that, baby. Mine is Unfuck Yourself. That was one of my most eye-opening
Great book.
books.
Yeah, great book.
Um, Movie would be Bee Movie. It's my favorite movie of all times
Go-to
because
movie.
it just shows how important, even though we think it's this small, but how important how the cycle works, how important that is.
Yeah.
And song would be Into the Mystic. I remember my mom singing it. And
Yeah.
then, military friends over the years, we had one sing it to his wife on the porch. It was the sweetest thing in the whole world. I just fell in love with it more. So it has lots of special meanings
Yeah.
in different environments.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Ooh, you're going to love this one. Don't get excited. Okay.
All right.
Okay. If you could make one change in the world, what would it be?
Ooh, perspective. Yeah.
Oh,
I
preach,
think
baby, preach.
I mean, the world just needs perspective. They need to be able to stop, put themselves in somebody else's shoes, remove their selfish wants and tendencies, and react and to move in life harmonically together. Wow. Did I just say all that? But it's the truth. People need to learn to they need more perspective. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna get up on a soapbox and we're gonna be here for hours. So
Well, we will definitely do a podcast about perspective then, babe.
yeah.
Um, okay. And for me, I think to show people grace. Like we are all guilty of making bad choices and bad decisions, but at the end of the day, you didn't walk in that person's shoe. And I know this is like beating a dead horse, but it's more definitely along the lines of understand that meaning behind it and go along and show compassion, show grace, try to put yourself in that person's shoes, just like you said. And I think that if we had more of that, that people would be more understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a good one. I liked yours. You did good,
I like
babe.
her.
Face
Yeah.
it. Okay. What do you love to do for others or give to others?
Hope.
I love that answer. Would you
Yeah.
like
Hope.
give me some more information about this, man?
Well, after my divorce, like I just the feeling of being alone was terrible. And when I say alone, I wasn't alone in reality because actually I had my kids. I was a single father,
Yeah.
but I felt like my struggle was only mine. And I'm the only one that's ever been through it. And I'm the only one, and nobody's going to help me. Nobody's going to save me, things of that nature, But it just, I felt like I was on an island by myself. And I did not realize, or I don't think, because social media was really coming through, like we didn't have these big, wide casting circles, that we could find
Mhm.
of people like us.
Yeah.
That's, one of the main reasons why I do the content is because not because I'm going through it at that moment, but I've never actually posted something I didn't feel. So understand when I post something, I've been through it. I'm just not going through it at the moment. But
Mhm.
the whole idea was to put stuff out there, let the comments go, and then people actually be able to see that there's somebody else that's going through that,
Yeah.
and find people that are going through the same struggles so they can yoke together and go through them together. So yeah, hope.
Hope. See?
Yep.
And going back to the thing you said before, your perspective was wrong of it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You go, babe. So proud of
Yeah.
you.
It's, dropping knowledge for free over here.
I mean, that's amazing. I love that. People need it. Okay, what do I love to do and to give others? Or what do you love to do for and give others? I think that art. I love to see smiling faces and know that when those people see that painting, they're just like, wow, like that's exactly what I wanted. And I love to give art because nobody can say, hey, here, I made this for you.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever gives like use your special talents and do it like from meaning. So I think I love to give I love to give presents. It's my favorite.
No.
And people don't accept presents well.
No.
You
Well,
don't?
I know because I
Oh,
don't expect it. I
yeah,
don't have the expectation of it. So
yeah.
yeah.
So I think that that's what I love. Okay, next question. What excites you? Not me. You're not allowed to say me.
Cheeseburgers.
I all the way.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. This like people, conversation, engagement, talking. Speaking to a big audience. I love to talk about these topics, and I love to hear people's opinions. Conversations. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what gets me excited. Is conversations.
And what gets me excited is creation. Like I love to create art and things and ever like if as long as I'm being creative, I'm being what's the word? You know, I'm being productive. That's what I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Not
All right.
I couldn't find those words sometimes, we just gotta go with the flow. That gets me excited. Okay. Um, what do you wish you did more of? Ooh,
Mm.
I knew this was gonna stem. I knew it.
Um, spend more time with family.
Okay.
Not I spend time with my kids. I spend time with you, my outer family, like my father, my stepmother, my sister. My sister lives in Louisiana. I'm here in Virginia. Super hard for us to get to see each other sometimes. So I would say, spending more time in the present, actually with each other, with my brother, my sister, and my dad. Because after my mom passed away, we really kind of dispersed. And
Yeah.
it wasn't because we were mad. It's just I think we were all running away, if
Yeah.
you ask me. My
Yeah.
sister, live in Louisiana. My dad, of course, moved from our home growing up to a different home. I moved here. I mean, literally straight after.
Yeah.
So we all kind of went our different directions. And I think it's because we wanted to find our place.
Yeah.
After that huge ordeal.
Oh,
Losing
absolutely.
you haven't lost one. Losing a parent is nuts.
Yeah.
It's hard to deal with. So it seemed like we all kind of reclused to our own path and just kind of stayed on our narrow path, and we didn't lose touch, but we don't talk as much. And then my grandfather too, my grandfather used to get us all together for Thanksgiving every year. And after he passed, that tradition fell. So it's just I wish our families can get together, reunion, something like that, because we haven't done it in a very long time. So
Well, maybe we can plan one. That would be awesome. I love to
yeah,
do things like that.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
What did I wish I did more of? I don't know.
Right?
Probably,
It's a hard question.
yeah. More I gardening popped in. So I'm just gonna say gardening because that's easy for me. Like, I love to get out there and plant plants and watch them grow and watch the cycle, and I think it's great. So, more gardening
But
for
let
me.
look at the pause real quick, because I can guarantee you 10 years ago, if we were asked the same question, we would rattle on for hours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Mm,
babe.
Healing and through finding who we are and our self-worth and things of that nature. Now we have to pause because we're constantly filling our own cup up, and we just didn't do it before, so
No.
that's, yeah, it's a great example. That was a great,
I think people should ask these questions, like, at least once a year just to
yeah,
kinda and keep them like, keep them.
yeah,
Like, and then watch it year to year as you progress. I think that that would be
yeah,
a great idea. Good job,
yeah,
babe.
yeah. And actually, because we're 50 minutes in, so I'll utilize that as a closing.
Okay.
Take take this time, use these questions with your partner. Um, you know, I don't want to gloat or sound like I'm going on a gloating path, but like her and I, we engage like this all the time, and that's what builds a healthy relationship, is to engage like this. Questions should be asked like this all the time. This is how you get to know somebody. This is how you engage with somebody. And it's fulfilling to be able to talk through this, and it's basic little questions, it's basic stuff like this that you'd be amazed how much more communication you'll have. Family member, loved one, girlfriend, wife, children, all this stuff. We don't converse like this.
No,
And
and
it,
the
it,
it, like,
it's got,
and then that stops us from assuming what that person like, if you are talking about this kind of stuff and you're asking yourself these questions and you're asking your spouse or partner these questions,
yeah.
then you don't feel like you're just having a conversation. Like, it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, well,
So,
it shouldn't it never at any point, I don't care if it's the first date or the 90th date or you've been with them for 35 years, it never should feel like an interrogation.
yeah.
It should be a conversation. Both parties willingly to put in the time and effort to get to know each other better on a deeper level, I
Because
mean,
we
we're
are constantly changing. Wes and I are constantly changing, and our ideas change, and our goals change, and like our relationship goals change. Well, if this changes before mine, I'm thinking, well, is there something going on? And then we have a conversation, like talking. And I think that it's healthy and that you ask these kind of questions.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's my closing thoughts. You got any closing thoughts?
Um, you know what? I'm gonna take something that you said earlier because it's really, really resonated with me. And I'm going to say, look at your perspective of your life and what you're going through. The only way that you are going to be able to get out of that stuff is to ask simple questions to yourself to get to know yourself better. You
Right.
cannot be a better human for your children, for your spouse, for your girlfriend, for your family unless you know who you are and what you stand for. So do these kind of stuff. Google them, journal them, just get to know yourself. I know that I am writing another I'm actually gonna do another journal book that is just about getting to know yourself.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if it'll help people, but I just if I help 2 people, I'll be happy.
That's right. Right. One person at a time, right?
Yes, one person at a time.
Yep, yep. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. We appreciate you guys, love and respect you guys. And again, thanks for being with us on another episode of the Savage Corner.